This is my Hatchyyack Xeno burn deck. 1 copy of the leader. 4 Ss4 Vegeta Prismatic Burst. 4 Ss4 Vegeta thwarting the Dark Empire. 4 Vegeta Reluctant Reinforcements. 4 Deadly Defender Goku. 4 Black Mustang Splintering Mines. 4 Full Mission Accomplished. 4 Oceana Shenron Negative Energy Explosion. 4 Gotenks Fusion Renewed. 4 Dr. Leche the Departed Spirit. 4 Goku making an entrance. 4 Hidden Power E Supreme Kai. 4 Power Burst. 4 Instant Transmission 10 times Kamehameha. 4 Ss4 Robotic Spirit Resonance. 4 Ss4 Vegeta Supreme Saiyan Power. So the funny thing is, before I made this video, building the deck and stuff like that, and when I first saw this card on the Dragon Ball Super Facebook page, I saw the active main real quick. I always check, stuff like that. Like when I see an active main, I'm like, what it costs? I'm like, oh, let me see what that's about. So I saw the cost and stuff. I'm like, oh, cool. So it's a 35k quadruple strike that I can play for 5 energy. That has potential. So I'm like, and it's a black card. So yeah, put this in Hatchyyack. But what I didn't do was read the auto, right? Until now, after putting this deck together, I realized that I read this auto so that I could see what this auto does in case I want to change the deck up a little bit to work with the auto if the auto did other stuff. But then realized that it said the effect that it gets effects based off of the color of your energy. The first color was red, and it says deal 1 damage. So I was like, it burns? This card burns? Hell yeah, this card is auto included in this deck. I want more burn in the deck. That's the whole strategy, right? Well, at least that's my main strategy, is put up a really strong defense and just get my opponent's life down to 2 or 1 life, and then just burn them for game, right? Straight, pretty simple. Some people will classify this concept, like in shooting games, we'll call it like camping, the idea of camping. So yes, it's camping. This is my main go-to strategy, which is to get my opponent down to 2 or 1 life and then burn them for game. So obviously a lot of defense, right? A lot of stalling, right? Camping as a word, just hiding behind a wall of defense, of negates and blockers and all that good stuff, while slowly throwing a couple attacks here and there to deal some damage, get my opponent low enough that I can just finish him off with a basic, burn effect. So that's why when I saw that this had burn, I'm like, this burns? Hell yeah, this is an auto include. Bandai is always giving me the good toys. So here we go. So I was like, well, definitely on turn 4, you're going to drop a Hidden Power E Supreme Kai so you can get that red energy so you can trigger that burn effect. So Dr. Leche, Hatchyyack. Permanent, you can only play black battle cards in your battle area. And this card can't attack. Auto, when a battle card attacks, the player who attacked can't attack with tokens or battle cards with energy cost 7 or less other than the card they attacked with. So anything above 7 costs can attack. So 8 costs, 10 costs, obviously, right? And we got some 10 and 8s in the deck for that. And then we have the active main. Once per turn, place the top card of your deck under this card. Then take the top card of your deck and send it to the drop area and then draw a card. And then to awaken, when you only have black cards in your energy area, choose 3 cards on this card, place it into your drop area, draw a card, and flip this card over. So obviously, you'll always awaken on turn 3 by using the active main, and then on turn 4 and above, you can charge any energy, and typically you'll charge a red energy on turn 4 because you're trying to make sure you're setting up for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Prismatic Burst's effect. So there's that. When you're awakened, you still can only play black battle cards in your battle area, but you can attack now with the leader and auto. When a battle card attacks, the player who attacked can't attack with battle cards with energy cost 7 or tokens or battle cards with energy cost 7 or less other than the card they attack with for the duration of the turn. Second auto, when this card attacks, it gets 5k power for the duration of the turn and you draw a card. So it's a 20k swinging on your turn, and you get to draw. So that's always nice to have. It's always got to apply that pressure. So you don't have to combo as much to apply pressure on your opponent, which is always awesome. Then we have, of course, the mighty Ss4 Vegeta Prismatic Burst. 35k quadruple strike with the auto. When this card is played, resolve the following effects based on the card colors in your energy area. And we do have multicolor black cards now. So we have black cards that are black and other colors, like black and red, black and green, so on and so forth. So that's awesome. We've been expecting them to do that, so it's about time that we have it. So those cards will definitely be useful with this card in order to get all these effects. But let's go through the effects, because again, you get all these effects based off the colors. So if you have red energy, deal 1 damage to your opponent, which is very important, right? Especially for this deck. Blue energy, draw 3 cards. There's no blue in this deck. Green energy, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and discards them. We don't have no green. We don't have no yellow, so we can't choose up to one of our opponent's cards and switch them to rest mode. It's cool this says opponent's cards, which means you can rest their energy and stuff, so that's always nice. We have no yellow energy in the deck. And black energy, which we do have black energy. Choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and send them to the owner's warp. So we're going to get 2 effects, which is the red and black. Red dealing 1 damage, and the black letting us choose up to 2 of our opponent's battle cards and send them to the warp. Doesn't ignore barrier, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. We'll take what we can get. So it's awesome. Definitely getting rid of battle cards, especially potential blockers, is always good to have. Have a big, quadruple strike battle card that gets rid of blockers is always good. And the fact that it burns, extra good, because you can win from that alone, or you can win from, the quadruple strike, right? And then, active main, pay 5 energy of any color. Choose 1 Goku Xeno card and 1 Vegeta Xeno card in your hand and or battle area, and place them into the owner's drop area, and then play this card from your hand. And the targets for that effect is Vegeta Reluctant Reinforcements and Deadly Defender Goku. We also have Goku making an entrance. He's also a Goku Xeno. So we have at least 8 Goku Xenos in the deck to use, but we only have 4 Vegeta Xenos to use because the Black Mass Sane Splintering Minds is not a Vegeta Xeno, not even Vegeta at all. It's a Black Mass Sane card. So there's that. So mainly you're going to be using like Deadly Defender and Vegeta Reluctant Reinforcements for playing the Gogeta Prismatic Burst. So that's awesome. So you can get them out as soon as turn 5. How it would be cool is, right, you play him on turn 5, burn, do all that good stuff, right? And let's say you still haven't beaten your opponent, and then you do this again, play another one. The following turn after that, burn your opponent again, which is nice, to have that options. So we have Ss4 Vegeta thwarting the Dark Empire, which ironically I was thinking of getting rid of. Once I realized this one burns and stuff, I was like, but it's like, nah, I might as well keep this one. It's a good card, and it's a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I'm a Gogeta fan, so definitely wanted to keep it. It's a good card. I can play it, at least a turn sooner than I could play this. So triple attack, which is nice. Triple attack, so it can attack 3 times, and it's an 8-drop, so that's really awesome. And it's a blocker, 35k blocker, always good, right? Permanent. While this card is in rest mode, it can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills, so that's really nice. That means you attack with it, so clearly it'll be in rest mode when you attack with it, so it'll be it won't be able to be KO'd by effects that would KO during the battle phase. So that's nice to have. So it has a form of protection. Auto once per turn. When this card attacks, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and 2 of their battle cards, ignoring barrier, which is great to have, right? And sends them to their owner's warp. At the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode because it is a blocker. So you can take full advantage of attacking with it 3 times, right? You only get the auto once to get rid of 2 cards from your opponent's hand and 2 battle cards from your opponent's field. It'd be broken if you could do it every time you attack, right? But getting rid of up to 4 cards off of 1 attack is always awesome. Even if the attack gets negated, you still get rid of 4 cards off the first swing, and then you got 2 more swings after that. So good, right? So this definitely makes it hard for your opponent to defend against. You know, at least with negates and blockers, because you can just easily go right through them. And like I said, with the whole removing up to 2 battle cards with the, you know, your first swing, blockers become useless. So blockers become useless, negates tend to become useless, or your opponent just has to work harder to make their negates, you know, more useful, because you're going to have 3 attacks coming at you, right? So you have a high chance of dealing damage with this bad boy. And then active main, pay 4, choose 1 Goku Xeno card and 1 Vegeta Xeno card in your battle area and or drop area, and send them to the owner's warps and play this card from your hand. So that's pretty nice. So what's, you know, obviously, so this one you need the materials in your hand or in your battlefield and or at battlefield, you know, battle area, right, in order to play it for 5 energy. But this one you just need them in your battle area or drop area in order to play this. So that's pretty nice. You know, different ways of bringing it out, but definitely awesome. Then, of course, I already mentioned that we got the Vegeta reluctant reinforcements. He's 20k with barrier, so it's nice that he has barrier. Gotta have protection, especially for stuff you're going to attack with, right? Has the we use this obviously because it's a Vegeta Xeno, has barriers 20k, plus its active main ability. Active main, pay 1 energy. Place this card into the owner's drop area, so you place it from your battle area to the drop area, right? And then choose 1 black battle card with 19k power from your drop area and play it. And the obvious target for that is Black Mass Saiyan, Splintering Minds. It is a 19k black battle card. So bring this back from the drop, and then of course you'll be able to get your autos off from your Splintering Minds. And of course Splinter Mind has the ability to burn, so that's good synergy there. So this is just another way of getting Splintering Minds out. Another way is just hard casting it from the hand, using food mission accomplished to get it back from the drop, or warp to add it back to the hand and then, you know, play it, all that good stuff. So there's that. Then we have Deadly Defender Goku. Obviously, it's 20k with barrier on your turn, 15k with barrier on your opponent's turn in rest mode, and then it says Goku Xeno, so obviously it goes with the Gogeta package, and then has the permanent during your opponent's turn. If your leader card is black, which it is, this card is in rest mode. Your opponent cards can't attack leader cards, and this card gets minus 5k power, which means they have to attack this card in order to try to get rid of it if they want to attack your leader. Other than that, they can't attack your leader. So they can't attack your leader with unisons, leaders, or battle cards. So they have to attack this card. So by playing it, essentially you just created a target. Right? So this Goku has the target in his back. Your opponent's going to have to try to take this bad boy down in the process. Then we have Black Mass Saiyan, Splintering Minds. Auto, when you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the orange warp. You always gotta keep your opponent's board low. Always gotta get rid of any problematic battle cards. You don't want your opponent to have enough cards to attack you every turn. You want them to have less cards to attack you with every turn. You always want to keep them with 3 or less attackers, right? Leader, unison, and at least 1 battle card, right? You always want to reduce that as much as possible. You don't want them to have 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks a turn. You want them to have 3 or less. So the less the better, right? And then auto, sparking 7. When this card attacks, if your leader card is black, which it is, you may choose 2 cards in your life, send it to your warp. If you do, choose 1 of your opponent's life and send it to the warp. So that's how you can burn with this. So that's another burn card. Gogeta is a burn card. We have food, mission accomplished, active main, pay 2, remove this card from the game from your drop area. Then choose up to 1 black battle card from your drop area or warp with an energy cost 7 or less and add it to your hand. So this can add anything except for the Gogetas. Obviously, the Gogetas, they're too high for this card's effect, but that is cool because, you know, we really only use this to help us grab all our other cards, preferably, you know, all our you know, defensive cards, and even definitely the Vegeta. Then we have the Oceanus Shenron Negative Energy Explosion. It's a blocker with counter attack. Choose one card in your hand and discard it. Negate the attack and play this card. If you played a card, your opponent can't attack for the turn unless they place the top 4 cards of their deck in their drop area each time. So, and then it has the permanent. During your opponent's turn, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3, so it's a 2-drop on your opponent's turn. Auto, if your leader card is a, well, that part doesn't matter because we're not using it for that part. But the fact that you can negate an attack, play this card, you know, for 2 energy, and then play another card like a Power Burst, or, for example, or Instant Transmission 10 times Chimera, or even a Goku making an entrance, and then trigger this card's effect of making it where your opponent has to send the top 4 cards of their deck into the drop area in order to attack. So it's a floodgate negate right there, and it's also a blocker, so extra defense in case your opponent decides they're going to take the risk. It's like, you know, I'll attack, I have no problem milling 4 cards, and you'll be like, all right, well, I'll block. Right, so you could potentially stop 2 or more attacks with this, because, you know, you obviously stop 1 attack by playing this, and then you have the blocker ability, so you can stop another attack. So that's 2 attacks out of the potential 3 a turn your opponent could do. And then, of course, the 3rd attack could be stopped by this effect, or you can stop it with something else, or you can just block it with another blocker. But, you know, your opponent will end up milling 4 cards. And you can win through milling, so that's another aspect of this deck. You know, it's a 60-card deck, and your opponent could potentially mill themselves out, right? So there's that. And then we got Gotenks Fusion Renewed, another blocker with counter attack. Send 3 cards from the top from your drop area to your warp. Negate the attack and play this card. Permanent, if you have a battle card with an energy cost of 6 in play and it's your opponent's turn, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. We don't have a 6-drop, so you won't be reducing this. So this will cost 3 to play. Auto, when this card attacks, place up to 3 black battle cards from your warp into your drop area, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less and send it to the warp. So further keeping our opponent, you know, board clear, and then of course taking advantage of the fact that we can put battle cards from our warp into a drop area, so that way we can reuse them, especially for bringing out Ss4 Vegeta touring the Dark Empire, since he can be brought out for 4 energy by removing the from your drop area a Vegeta and a Goku Xeno. So there's synergy there. And of course I mentioned he's a blocker. Then we have Dr. Leche, the Hearted Spirit. He's a blocker with the auto. When you play this card, place the top 2 cards of your deck to your drop area. Active main, pay 2. If your leader card is a Black Machine Mutant card, which it is, play this card from your drop area. So for 2 energies, you can play a 10k blocker from your drop area. Typically, you wait until you know, after you finish it with all your attacks, and then bring up your blockers. You know, pro tip: play your blockers like Dr. Leche, for example, last before you end your turn, but not before you start. You declare attacks, because it's bad if you do it the other way. Goku making an entrance, counter attack, negate the attack and play this card. It does not have combo power, but it's still worth comboing it just to get it to the drop, so that way you can always add it back from your drop to your hand with Power Burst. It's a 15. I mean, it's a 5K, so you can use it to attack with, to swing with it. It is a Goku Xeno, so you can use it with, for Gogeta and for the Gogeta cards, because both can use a Goku Xeno from the battle area in order to summon them. So having this on the field, wouldn't be a problem when it comes to for them. And like I said, you can use it to attack, because he is a 5K, so you can swing with him, give him, combo him with E Supreme Kai, for example, make him a 15K double strike at least, get some use out of him, and then use him for summoning your Gogetas. And like I mentioned, since it's one drop, it has synergy with Power Burst, so you can obviously use Power Burst to negate an attack, of course, and then add the Goku to your hand and use the Goku to negate another attack. So the synergy there. E Supreme Kai, when you combo with this card, choose up to one of your attacking cards and it gains double strike for the duration of the battle. So that's optional to give something double strike. So obviously we just use this to combo for 10 and get double strike. And then the fact that it's red will charge a copy on turn 4 or 5 in order to trigger Gogeta Prismatic Burst burn effect. Power Burst. Counter attack if your card is black, which it is. Negate the attack, then choose up to one black battle card from your drop area or warp with an energy cost of 1 and add it to your hand. Permanent, Sparking 5. If you have 5 or more cards in your drop, you can play this card for free by taking a card from your life to your hand. Instant transfer 10 times. Command counter attack. Negate the attack, then place up to 2 black battle cards from your warp into your drop area active main. Pay 1 black energy. Choose 2 cards in your hand and place them into the warp. Add this card from your drop to your hand. So it's a reusable negate, which is definitely good to have. You always want to make sure you always have multiple negates, because you want to stop up to 3 attacks per turn every turn, because you always want the extra turns. So survival is key, but sometimes you can't stop every attack, so you at least want a minimum of 1 damage or less per turn that is acceptable to take, but taking 2, 3, 4 damage in a turn, not acceptable. So do your best to make sure it's always 1 or less damage a turn, because you always want an extra turn, right? And then we got Ss4 Bardock Spirit Residence. Auto once per turn when you remove a MicroRecords card for a Spirit Boost skill. Choose send up to one battle card from your opponent's drop area to the warp. If I'm right, we don't have Spirit Boost in this version. We got the +1 active main ability to draw a card, which is nice because it helps make this card stick on the field longer, and it's an extra attacker. You want to have leader plus unison plus at least 2 battle card swings. So yeah, you want to at least have 4 plus attacks per turn, and this has the +1 ability to draw a card, like I said, so it definitely will help you keep your hand nice and thick. The -2 ability, obviously very, very useful. Active main, until the end of your opponent's next turn, they can't attack with battle cards unless they choose 1 card from the hand and sends it to their warp each time they attack. So it's kind of like a topo effect, which is nice. It only affects battle cards, but it's still good. So you definitely could take advantage of that. And like I said, 15k buy, swing, draw, trigger that -2 ability so that we can get them extra turns. You definitely want to have the extra turn because you want to get to your Splinter Mines and you want to get to your Ss4 Vegeta burn play and win that way. Because the funny thing, I used to have Toa, and I used to use Toa to try to control my opponent's board, but at the same time use it to steal a blocker from my opponent, and then use the blocker to block or steal one of their battle cards, and then use that battle card to attack one of their other battle cards, so I can potentially get rid of 2 battle cards off of 1 card. But usually it costed, up to 4 energy to do so, and that wasn't always a good idea, especially if it's turn 4 when I'm doing that. I'm tapped out, so I won't have energy to play, you know, my negates or stuff. So this is pretty cool that for 2 energies I can, you know, potentially make those, you know, my opponent's battle cards a little useless. So it's something to consider, or at least this will just make it harder for my opponent to attack, which is the ultimate thing. Make it harder. Then we have the Ss4 Vegeta Supreme Same Power. We mainly here have it for its -5 ability, where you -5 markers and then pay 4 black energy. Send 1 card from your opponent's life to their warp. So essentially burn, right? So get your opponent down to 1 and finish them off either with this card, Splintering Minds, or Ss4 Gogeta Prismatic Burst. So you have 3 cards in the deck that can burn your opponent for 1, right? So you have 3 potential win cons right there and then. Not to mention, you know, the 8 drop and just attacking and double striking your opponent for game type of plays. And a way you can play this card, you know, as soon as possible, would be to have 2 copies of this card, right? Pay 4 to play the card. Attach the second copy so you can give it a marker, so it has 5 markers, and then remove the 5 markers and then pay 4 black energy. You know, go and burn your opponent for 1. So you could do that as soon as turn 8. So not going to be too hard to get to turn 5. You can definitely stall to turn 6 and 7. I've stalled long before, so it's not that hard to stall with this deck. So getting up to 8 or 9 energy to be able to use this to burn your opponent for 1, it's not that difficult. But of course we have, you know, Gogeta, which makes it easier to get to the burn for less, because you will only need 5 energy to play this card, and you just need 1 red energy in order to trigger the burn for this. And then this, you just need 4 energy to play the Sparking 7 and then swing and make sure you have 3 or more life in order to successfully trigger this effect off. Even if your opponent gets this card's attack, it doesn't matter. You're still going to burn them for 1, obviously. And that's the end of the video.